Hello, my name is Tony Roberts. I'm the Chief Transformation Officer of the Team Builder Leadership Institute. And I want to share with you in this little video how to remove drama from the workplace. Now, part of the professional standard of leadership is knowing how to remove drama. Now, the first step in removing drama is not bringing any yourself. But you have to understand most of the drama in a workplace is brought there by the leaders themselves. Now, I know you're saying, wait a minute, Tony, that's crazy. This person is dramatic and all this. I understand. So here's what I mean. Okay, leaders say things in a way to people that often create negative responses. So one of the things leaders do is they don't use the professional leadership language, and they say things like, you need, you must, I need you to, I want you to. Okay, so you have to understand, in order to keep an employee focused on what they're there to do positively, you do not make it sound like you're coming up with all the work that needs to be done. And when you say, you must, I need, I want, who does it sound like is making you do all the things? So you learn to use that professional high-performance leadership language, and you say, okay, in order to get this result, this needs to be done. How are you going to go about it? In other words, you get them to take accountability and ownership of it. And you do that because the reason this needs to be done by this person is because it's this person's job and this is the goal that's got to happen. It's got nothing to do with Tony the leader. I don't make you have to do the work. You're the one that takes the paycheck. You're the one who said, I'll do this work if you'll compensate me with this amount. All I do as the leader is say, okay, here's what the organization needs you to do for your compensation. That's all I do as a leader. I keep them focused on their goals. I don't make it sound like Tony creates all this work for them. Okay? If I do, that's going to create negativity. Now, also another thing you see is besides leaders using negative language to create resentment, hostility, things like that, negative feelings because people feel like they're being picked on or made work more than somebody else, something like that. You also have to remove drama. I have a client of mine and a friend, and she's an executive. She's really smart, really ambitious, driven, and a very sharp person. She gave me a scenario. We were talking one day, and she was talking about a scenario where there was this employee who used to be in a leadership position, then he went to a sales position. And so he would share with a lot of the employees that used to be lower than him, that used to be subordinate to him. He would share with them things like, well, you know, I think you're a hard worker and you're doing this, so you should get that promotion. That promotion coming up should be yours, things like that. So he would talk to employees that he already had a relationship with and say things like that. Well, then the promotion would go to somebody else, and the employees he was talking to, saying, I think you should get it, and things like that, got upset, and they started complaining to his supervisor, okay, which, of course, is my friend. Now, and so what happened is they would come and say, well, I'm going to use his name as Bob. His name is not actually Bob, but of course that's what we'll call him. Okay. Anyway, so Bob told me I should get that promotion. Why don't I have that promotion? Bob told me this, and so these employees were coming to her with this. And so she asked me, how do you handle this situation? How do you make this come out right? Okay. Now, first of all in this, you have to understand, and what you learn in the Team Builders professional in our Dynamic Guide Leadership Standard, what you learn is to identify communication styles and belief systems so you understand where the person's coming from, so you know the appropriate way to effectively fix the issue, okay? So now, first of all, the reason Bob was doing this, Bob is a very social person, okay? Social people, and I call them, and I have a program right here, it is, Communication Success Program, as a matter of fact. You got beliefs, and you've got your communication styles. He was what's called a number one. That means they focus on me. It's all about me. Not necessarily in a self-centered way, but my next big adventure, what I'm going to do, what I just did, what I want to do. Social people like this, the number one, they walk loud, they talk loud. Sometimes you can hear them coming before you see them because they wear loud things. They're the kind of person that will see you a half mile away and say, hey, how's it going? And scream and sort of embarrass you. They're just very outgoing people, and they're very focused on the next big adventure for them. Okay. So they're your consummate people. If you ever wanted to schmooze anybody, this is the kind of person to send because they like people. But their favorite topic of conversation is always going to be, what's in it for me? Now, with all that said, this person that we're dealing with, Bob, is a very, very social person. He already has a connection with the people he's talking to. And socializers really do like to share their opinion. They are quick, they're spontaneous, and they have good ideas. They have lots of great ideas, and they're very creative. But they'll share their opinion very quickly. They're one of the people that if you were to say, so how do I look in this dress? They might say, like a cow, and they'll just whatever comes to mind, they say. That's their communication style. So when employees are talking about the promotions and things like that, and of course Bob wants to make them happy, he's saying, I think you should get that. Now, is there really anything wrong with Bob giving his opinion? Well, now this is, in Tony's world, no. Bob can give an opinion if he wants to. And we'll get back to that. Okay, so the second point is when employees come and they say, well, Bob said I should get that promotion. Why didn't I get it? This is where I advise my colleague or my client. I said, this is where you remind them that Bob doesn't make the decisions on these things. And the decisions are made not on Bob's opinion, but the decisions are made on your performance and what you've done to not only earn, but show that you're ready for the responsibility and accountability of that promotion. And then what I would do is talk to that employee about any particular need that needed to be addressed to be ready for that promotion, anything like that. But the bottom line is, so what we're going to do is we're going to let Tony do his job, okay? In other words, I'm your leader. Let me do my job, and we're not going to worry about Bob's opinion. Bob's allowed to have his opinion, and I'm glad he thinks highly of you, but that doesn't mean necessarily that all of Bob's opinions will be met with actual reality. Now, if I felt it necessary, I would go to Bob, and I'd say, Bob, do me a favor. I love the fact that you try to motivate folks and give them a positive outlook and make them aspire to want promotions. But do me a favor. From now on, instead of telling them they should get it and that should be theirs, word it like this. You know what? You should earn that and ask for it. Go ask your leader for it. Tell them you want to. Let them know you're interested and tell them you want to do it and ask the leader, what do I need to do to earn that? And then let the leader guide you. Will you do that for me, Bob? Now, if Bob will do that, he'll just be helping me and he won't be hurting me. Bottom line here is you always want to address things in a way focused on the goals and remove drama. You do not let drama, because a lot of drama turns into negativity real quick. You've probably experienced this. So anytime there's an issue like this between employees, you always focus all the employees involved back on what we're here to do. Whose position is what? In other words, I as the leader make the decision who gets promoted based on what they've earned and what they've proven they can do as far as that position. So I'm going to do my job, and as the employee, will you let me do my job? Is that okay if I make a decision? And Bob, as a co-worker, will you do it in a way, when you share your opinion, will you say it in a way where it's positive and goal-oriented instead of a way that is perceived to be not positive? So, and you'll find when you talk to people positively through the goals, notice I didn't tell them what to do. Okay, I didn't tell them what to do. I focused everything on what is required to get to the goals, right? And when you do that, you'll be amazed that it makes sense and they'll go with it because it's got nothing to do with Tony. It's got nothing to do with negativity. It's got to do with what's best for all of us to get what we want. So removing drama from the workplace, it's got to be addressed. That means it's got to be addressed quickly because if the longer you let things fester, they turn more negative. And then at some point, they may not be able to be removed without removing an employee, and you don't want to do that if you've got good employees. So that's got to be addressed quickly. It's got to be addressed positively, focused on the goals, and you show them how to get to their goals, what they want. You give them that path, and you make sure that you're using that professional leadership language. That's why TLI's Dynamic Guide Professional Leadership Standard teaches this kind of language because this is the language, this is the focus, these are the abilities that makes you a professional leader. And when everybody in the organization leads this way, you create a community dynamic in the organization where you're going to work basically with people you enjoy as your friends. So it's like working with your friends, your best friends. And everybody's happy because they learn to treat each other with dignity, respect, and honesty, and they make communication easy. They make talking about sticky subjects like promotions, things like that, easy because they know nobody's ever negative, nobody ever beats them with anything, nobody ever insults them. So the Dynamic Guide Professional Leadership Standard will help you put this leadership standard throughout your organization and get this kind of consistency and build what we call a TLI, community dynamics. So your organization has become a community of people who want to be together and they're working on those common goals. All right, so to remove drama, just as soon as you see it, get rid of it using these skills. We do have the Professional Full Spectrum Leadership Certification, which teaches leaders that Dynamic Guide Professional Leadership Standard so they can master those techniques, and you can have these conversations with comfort, with clarity, with ease. I mean, have you ever been in a situation with employees or co-workers or where you just couldn't come up with the words? You didn't know how to approach it? That's what you learn from the Dynamic Guide Professional Leadership Standard. You learn the words, the objectives, the way to approach it to where you get the results you want, positive results for you, them, and the organization. Visit us at The Team Builder Leadership, TheTeamBuilderADRC.com, TheTeamBuilderADRC.com. Visit us there. We have free tools for you, health meters for your organization, e-books, different products. Come see us and contact us. Let us know how we can help, if we can help you build that dynamic community. Thank you for visiting the Team Builder Leadership Institute.